We're gearing up for a 2-week April break from the podcast to give our weary brains a rest. But before we go, we wanted to give you a big meaty bite to remember us by. In this dense bagel bite, we're making much-needed public apologies to some, starting new beef with others, and sharing wildly uncomfortable pizza secrets that you'll wish we didn't. Come laugh and cringe and Tina Belcher groan along with us in this episode for the road that may not be what you asked for, but is certainly what you got.
They said that we'd grow out of it. Well, the joke's on them, that's just our brains. We're eccentric, loud, and stubborn, and most of our clothing is covered in stains. It's not a deficit of attention, there's just too much to think about. So if executive dysfunction becomes a little too much, if you forgot why you came in this room, or you're hypersensitive to touch, then put on your seamless socks and come join our little flock. Bitches stimming together, we're weirds of a feather, weirds of a feather.
It's April break! Happy April!
Happy April break.
I like that. It's pretty low.
It's as low as I go.
Is it?
Yeah, just like limbo.
April break.
All right, now I gotta try.
April break. Whose was lower? Tell us.
Yeah,
We'll wait.
I can't wait any longer.
Okay. Let's just get into it then.
Yeah.
Welcome
Welcome.
to Weirds of a Feather. Are we going to say it synchronized?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wait. I need the countdown.
Okay. Welcome to Weirds of a Feather, an ADHD-Adjacent podcast. I'm your host, Kristen.
And I'm your host, Grace. I couldn't get through it.
I thought we were both going to sync up and say both of them. I'm your host, Grace.
And I'm your host, Kristen.
Sorry to confuse you. I wonder, do people still get our voices mixed up?
I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do too.
They have to.
Yeah.
We sound similar.
I feel like we don't, but I understand it.
Yes.
You know?
I agree.
I get it.
I feel like
we sound like two just white women.
Yeah, two white women.
Basic ass white women.
Yeah. And we are.
And we are. Yeah,
Look
that's
at
accurate.
that. No, I understand the confusion, and I think we sound different, and obviously I can tell us apart.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Actually, there was one time when I was editing and there was like something that I had said, it was like so, or one tiny little word that it was like distorted in the audio. And I was like, all right, I should just substitute this with where I say that somewhere else. But people always say that we sound so similar. So I was like, I wonder if I could take a clip of Kristen saying that same thing and put it there and it would sound like me. And I did it. I was like, that sounds nothing like me. It very much sounds like Kristen.
Well, we've also known each other since we were like, 5? So
yeah,
I feel like we should know what each other's sounds are like.
I know what your sounds are like.
I know. I get the gist of your sounds.
Yeah, you got the vibe of my sounds.
But I get it if you're like a first time listener. Like because I've done that with other podcasts too, like Sinisterhood. No, actually they sound wildly different.
My Favorite Murder, it took me a little bit.
My Favorite Murder took me a little bit.
But now I'm like, there's no way I could ever confuse them.
Well, it's like the Olsen twins. I used to confuse them all the time, and now I still confuse them all the time.
Yeah, except they're twins. They're identical twins, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they're fraternal. Anyways, let's get into this friggin' bagel bite. Once again, I was like, this needs to be really short. Yep. So here we are talking about the Olsen twins. Of course, right on schedule. So I'm going to set this up with a womp womp. We have just an update that people probably won't be psyched about, but deal with it, because I'm having a mental health episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Burr, burr, burr.
Mental health.
Episode. No, I'm not really having an episode. I just burnt down and burnt out beyond recognition. And my brain needs a bit of a break. So we're going to take the next 2 weeks off from posting episodes Sorry, guys.
We'll still be on like Instagram and stuff and the emails and whatnot. So please reach out if you're feeling sad and you need a little dose of Kristen and Grace.
Oh, yeah. Come get your dose, guys. But Lily and I are headed down to Arizona next week. My parents have a place down there in an old people retirement community.
Nice.
It's like old people daycare or old people summer camp. It's great. They love it.
That sounds lovely.
I'm going on a little vacation, taking a little break, taking a
Proud
little
of
me
you.
time.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm just not going to be able to edit while I'm down there. And, of course, I haven't.
And you shouldn't be editing
Yeah.
while you're down there.
And it's not like I have, a surplus of episodes I've already edited in
Right.
advance in preparation because that's just not me. That's not my
it's just
style.
us.
It's just us.
It's just us keeping this horse train running.
Yeah.
Mostly Grace. It's Grace
there.
keeping this horse train running. Let's correct it. No. Credit should be given where credit is due.
You're the coal guy. You're shoveling coal in there.
Yeah,
sometimes.
and you're like the actual train.
Yeah, I am the train. You're the coal shoveler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's accurate. You're keeping me going.
Yeah, Ian is the horse.
Oh, we fall in love. Horse train.
See what I did there? See
Yep.
what I did? That's all coming together.
Oh, just like in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the next 2 weeks, we're gonna take a little bitty break, a little tiny break.
Yep. So if you miss us, just go back and listen to old episodes because there's a
Yes.
bunch of them.
There are a bunch of them. This is Bagel Bite number 17.
Yeah, lots of bagel bites.
We're up to episode
49.
49.
So when we come back from our break, we will have episode 50,
Whoa,
which is a special episode with Ian.
yeah,
Where he's coming back in the pod loft.
our first repeat guest, our first guest, and our first repeat guest.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And for all of you waiting for your turn on the podcast, Ian just came on because he was in the house and we didn't have another hobby collectors
It
to do.
was a game day decision.
Yeah, so we were like, hey, you want to come on the podcast and talk about woodworking? And we turned that into a whole episode.
He was only going to do the hobby collector,
Yeah.
but we convinced him to do the whole
We
episode.
bullied him into it.
Because why would you just talk? He's always got a bunch to talk about.
Yeah,
And
he's
his
got a lot of
episode
quirks.
was lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a fun episode. So that I'll hit you guys with that episode 50 when we get back from the break. So you got something to look forward to. It's a pretty decently long episode.
Nice.
And yeah, you guys are just we're all just lucky that I'm still sound editing at all, I would say. Once again, that's not a threat, but it's more like
so
I can't believe
appreciative.
I'm still going.
You're still going.
My brain is so tired.
And we love you for it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Round of applause.
Yeah, I agree.
For Grace for the
Come on,
sound
I hope
editing.
you're clapping at home. Clap!
Yeah.
Clap with us! Clap for me!
And then, so other business,
Yes.
me specifically,
Yes.
has to give a formal apology.
You do.
I'm sorry.
You owe it.
Lily, but not sister Lily.
Yes.
But other Lily.
Apparently we have
two
another
Lilies.
listener who also is named Lily with one L, which you don't see very often.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kristen spelled with an I. By the way, guys, just a heads up. It's okay if you've made this mistake before. I know that Kristen doesn't want to speak up, but I'll speak up on your behalf.
Okay.
Kristen spells her name with an I. Kristin.
Oh, and it's okay if you get it spelled.
No, it's not. Respect her spelling.
It's really okay.
No, it's okay. I realized we had never said that before, but I know that you get a little sad when people don't respect your I spelling.
It's okay. I'll manage.
No, it's not. She won't.
I only cry sometimes. But I want to give a shout out to Lily. I gotta find it. Oh my god. Cue the music. Fucking Christ. So on Instagram, her name is OK Lily. And for some reason, I was like, there's only one Lily ever in the world.
That can only be one.
There can
Lily.
only be one. But in fact, there are two.
Yeah.
Two Lilies. And I thought OK Lily was Grace's sister Lily. And we made fun of her for saying Campari because that's such a fancy drink.
Yes.
And-
I bullied you quite a bit thinking it was my sister.
Yeah.
Calling you fancy. What did I call her? Snobby?
Snobby.
I think I called you snobby.
You're not snobby.
You're not
Lily.
snobby.
Don't let Grace bully you.
I'm sorry, other Lily. If you were my sister Lily, you'd be a snobby ass bitch. Just kidding. But because you're not my sister and you're just someone who is choosing to listen to our podcast, thank you, by the way.
Not anymore, apparently.
Yeah, I hope you're still here. Yeah, in our aperitif bagel bite yeah, we just kind of gave you a little bit of a bully there for saying Campari, because the way we found out was my sister texted me after listening to the episode, and she's like, what the fuck is a Campari? I didn't write that. And let us know that we had just bullied some other woman.
Yep.
So
I'm sorry. Okay, Lily.
yes, I am also sorry.
I'm still trying to look up what Campari is.
No, we don't have time in this Bagel Bite. It's a liqueur.
It is a liqueur. It's an aperitif.
It's an aperitif.
And it's her favorite aperitif.
And she loves it.
And now we have to try it.
And we respect.
Out of respect for
yes,
Okay, Lily.
We respect you, Okay, Lily.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for writing in.
Thanks for writing in.
Sorry for bullying you.
I'm sorry.
All right, on to Little Plishes.
Little Plishes.
You ready?
I need the countdown.
Okay.
Little Plishes.
All right, my Little Plish this week. I feel like this one really gets at the heart of what a Little Plish is.
Yeah.
It's something where a few years ago, if I had done this, instead of celebrating myself, I would have been like, cool, good job. You should have done this 8 months ago. Great job for finally doing it. But no, instead, no. I was proud of myself and I celebrated myself.
Yay.
I tightened a screw on a drawer knob in the bathroom that has been bothering me since we moved in here.
Nice.
It's like just really loose and the screw needs to be
that.
tightened. Yeah, so it like turns the little knobby every time you go to open the drawer.
Right.
Every single day I'm like, I fucking hate this drawer handle. And I just get mad about it. And the other day I was like, you know what? I could just tighten this. And I did. And it's so much better. And it doesn't trigger me anymore.
And now your whole life has changed.
Yep, it's changed everything. So I'm really proud of myself for doing it, you know?
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. All right,
I have a little plish.
What'd you do?
I trimmed your dog's toenails.
Yes, you did.
We needed to be done. Someone's got to be the man of the house now.
Someone's got to do it.
So, no, it's my job to trim the cat's nails because Christopher's colorblind. He can't see the little red quick.
Oh, I was like, what does that have to do with it?
He
That
can't
sounds
see
fake.
the red quick.
Sorry, I'm colorblind.
Can't
do this.
Colorblind. No, but he can't see the little redness, so he's very scared of like trimming too much.
That's valid.
I think he should still be scared because I'm like, get him short. No, I'm always very gentle, but that's my job at home. And then you have this like fancy Dremel.
Yeah, that's Ian's job here in our home, but apparently he didn't do a good enough job this time around.
Yeah, sorry, Ian, but you got to step it up.
Yeah. He's more like, oh, she doesn't like it. It's like, yeah, of course she doesn't like it.
Yeah, you got to train her.
And you're just like, whatever.
You got to train her to like it. Not that I've trained my cats to like it, because we bribe them with treats, and one is kind of like too dumb to know what's actually going on, so it's kind of easy to trim his nails. But
that's nice.
John Ralphio, he's like, what? I'm laying on my back. You've pinned me down. He's very cute though. But yeah, trimmed it.
Yeah, yay. Thanks for doing that. Yay! Good job.
There we go. Little plishes.
There we go.
You have an update.
So yeah, this Bagel Bite, we're just. It's not really an update.
We're up to date.
I just want to say on the record real quick, my 2 quotes references that I said in a few episodes back. First of all, multiple people got my quote, the lamb and tuna fish quote. It's from Big Daddy, by the way. Mm-hmm. But someone responded to the poll and they're like, no one has ever said this ever. And I just want to say you're wrong. And multiple people knew that lamb and tuna fish quote was from Big Daddy.
Want me to tell you who it was who said no one has ever said this ever? It was Wood Coast Designs.
Wood Coast Design, you son of a bitch.
But just in the...
Justin.
Justin.
In the shed.
In the shed.
Yeah. He does carpentry. He's an architect.
No, it just says just.in.the.shed.
Yeah, just in the shed. It's a play on words. His name's Justin.
I get it.
We got there.
Just wait till our dyslexia episode.
Yeah.
He got that in Priscilla. Potato Socks got it.
Hell
so,
yeah.
woo-woo.
I knew you guys would. So thank you.
Got it.
And my other quote, they're fluffity, they're puffity, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is from Homestar Runner. Only millennials will remember that. Only weird millennials will remember that.
Yeah, that was a niche reference. Yeah. But Gracie K got that in Lily Bay, which is your sister.
Yes, that is indeed my sister.
I think I wrote back to her saying, I certainly hope you would get this since you grew up with us and that's all we watched.
Yes, Chris and I were obsessed with Homestar Runner. It was like
obsessed.
Early internet humor, bizarre.
Back when the internet was new.
And innocent.
I
feel like that really shaped our humor.
I guess like not innocent because they had like...
It was pretty innocent compared to now.
I don't know. Christopher was on like... Have you ever seen like Faces of Death?
No.
Or something like that? like before there was like, we were on the innocent side of the internet, but there were that was like before there were like labels on things and content warnings and stuff. The internet was raw.
I went into chat rooms, like Haley and I would go into chat rooms and like probably talk with pervert adults all the time.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
All right. Anyways.
Yeah. But so good job, guys who got the quotes. Thanks for listening and thanks for writing in.
And thanks for getting my references.
Yeah.
And once again, Justin still does not listen to this podcast. He just responds to the polls.
And we appreciate him for it. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. You'll never hear this.
You'll never hear this. Good thing we spent 8 minutes trying to get his name right.
Yes, we collectively did.
So
we're trying to keep this Bagel Bite somewhat short.
It never is.
But I got to edit this real quick before my vacay. So got to keep it somewhat short, but we wanted to give you guys a nice big bite before we head out.
Yeah.
And give you a couple pizza secrets.
Yes.
Because I know you guys love the pizza secrets.
For the road.
Yeah. A little, secret for the road.
Okay. I have one. I'm a little nervous to tell this.
Okay. We support you. Unless you, well,
it's kind
depending.
It's kind of gross.
Okay. What you got? Oh, we didn't do the song.
Oh, fucking
we do?
Oh my
God.
Wait a minute.
Well, we never do segments in Bagel Bite, so that's why I was confused.
We never do segments in Bagel Bites.
Okay.
Ready?
Pizza secrets. Tell me your secrets. Pizza secrets. Pizza secrets. Oh, yeah. It's hard to just leave it hanging.
Yeah,
I feel like it needs something else.
It's perfect.
Okay.
Can I go first? Because I got to get it out of my way.
Please.
Out of our way.
Yeah, out of everyone's collective way.
Mine's called Book Club. When I was a new, fresh-faced PA working in Washington, first job, innocent, young, the life was still in my eyes. I was in the office, and we had this janitor, and he was kind of a creepy guy, and I'm allowed to say that, and you'll know why. He's always creepy, but he's always very pleasant. He was always like, hello, and I was like, hello. And I'd always stay late to like finish my notes and finish my things. And sometimes I'd be the only one left and the janitors would come in and they'd start like, cleaning and doing the things while I was there finishing up my notes. And every time he's just very pleasant, like, hello, hello, hello. And I would just say hello back, continue on with my notes. And then one day he said, do you like to read? So I lied and I said, yeah.
Love the stuff.
Yeah. And he goes, I wrote a book. Do you want a signed copy? And I was like, oh my God, of course. I didn't know you wrote books. Oh. Like, I know nothing about this man.
Of course you didn't know he writes books.
I was like, oh my gosh, he's an author. And
was it a manifesto?
Worse. Oh. So he gets out a book. He like already had it in his pocket.
Just waiting for the
whips it out, signs it, gives it to me. I was like, oh, like, what? Okay. Didn't open it. Like, I'm not going to like read it right now. Yeah. I just like put it on my little work area and I left it there and I like went on my merry way and it kind of sat there for like days. I never opened it.
I'm so nervous.
One of my attendings at the time who was just about to retire. So he must have been like 68. He's like a vascular legend. He actually worked in vascular surgery. It wasn't just general surgery. And he's like, what's this? I was like, oh, one of the janitors gave me this book. He also, this surgeon legit had a photographic memory. It was crazy. He was so intelligent. And he's like, what's this? And I was like, one of the janitors like wrote a book and signed it and gave it to me. I have no idea what it's about. I honestly haven't opened it up. I was like, do you want it? And he's like, I'll take a look. Takes it, leaves. Days later, the nurses in our office come running up to me. They're like, Kristen, you got one of those books, right? I was like, yeah. They're like, what did he say to you when he gave it? He's like, do you like to read? And I said, yeah. And you gave me a book. And they're like, did you read it? And I was like, no. And they're like, why didn't you read it? I was like, I don't know. They're like, well, do you know what it's about? I was like, I have no idea. Apparently, it is like this, like, it's basically rape porn, I guess. Like, way bad.
Like, I knew you were going to go there.
awful. They read like one passage to me, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Why would he give that to you?
Okay.
What
and
the
so,
fuck?
and then, so apparently, this guy eventually was fired for this because this
I
is
would hope so.
disgusting. So he gave it to me. He gave it to a bunch of nurses, only females. Isn't that so gross?
What the fuck?
So disgusting. And they're like, "Where's the book?" Because obviously the office wanted to take all the books away, and I was like, I gave it to the surgeon. They're like, "You what?" The guy who's just about to retire, he's like a teddy bear of a human.
Oh, God.
And I was like, I didn't know it was like porn.
I hope you really clarified you had no idea what was in there.
I ran into the OR. I go, "Did you read the book?" He goes, "Of course I did."
What?
He read the whole thing.
Oh,
He's
my
like,
God.
"I did not like it." I was like,
Why did you keep reading it?
because he could read things in like a second.
I did not care for that.
I was just like, oh my God. I was like, I'm so sorry. I had no idea that was what it was.
Oh my God.
And it was like a whole big thing. He gave it to like 5 different nurses.
Jesus
and did like
Christ.
the same thing.
That man's a predator.
Oh,
He should be
for
on
sure.
a list.
One of my friends, she was a nurse, and he goes up to her, and she like clocked him for sure as like a weirdo. And he goes, "Do you like to read?" She goes, "I do not like to read."
Good answer.
And he goes, "Do you want a book?" She goes, "I don't want your book." I was like, wow, hero right there. Before she even knew, she just like was like, something's off
Picked
about
up
him.
on those vibes. Good for her.
I did not pick
More
up
aware
on those
than you
vibes.
are.
It was so horrific. Like, I get that there's like, you know, like raunchy books out there.
Yes.
I've read a couple. This was like not that. It was like kind of disgusting and like really, really graphic, I guess.
And all, yeah, that coming from a man and him giving it to the women who work there, like,
Only
feels
women.
very targeted.
Yeah, I worked with one other PA who was a male. He's like, "I didn't get a book."
Bummer.
Bummer. I was like, "You don't want this book."
Scary book.
But
and you
yeah.
were alone with that man. Like,
All the
how many
time.
times were you alone with
Oh
that
yeah,
man?
at least probably like
So
10
scary.
times at least. Yeah, and then I never saw him again.
I hate that feeling of like realizing that a man that you thought you just had this kind of like nice passive
he was just,
relationship
like,
with has
yeah.
been a fucking creep this whole time.
Like,
And
so creepy.
he wasn't into you. He didn't like appreciate your friendship or your like kindness. He's just this whole time has been like having fucking creepy thoughts about you.
Yeah. It was
It's so
I just want to say it was a
disappointing.
self-published book, and I don't know the name of it, but it was pretty
We'll put
thick.
the link in the bio.
No, we won't.
No.
I don't know the name of it, but it was really gross, and
Ugh.
probably shouldn't be passing that out at work to only the women in the office.
Yeah, it's one thing to write that book, but then also to, like, it's the
You know,
double whammy
right.
of like,
I don't want to kink shame, but like it was
even if it were a like normal non-rapey sex book, that's still inappropriate to give that to women at work, you know? And then you add the rape stuff in, it's like, you need to be on a bunch of lists.
Yeah, so he
God.
was fired, and then I had to have this like really weird discussion with my attending about how I can't emphasize enough that I didn't know that was a porn book, and I didn't actually read it, and next time I will to make sure
Read
that
the janitor's porn book.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure that I don't give it to like my boss.
Yes, yeah, that'd probably be a good
so
idea.
I guess read before you give books away, people.
You can't be expected to read every graphic porn book that a janitor gives you in
I
the hallway,
didn't even
Kristen.
open the cover, and oh my God, I feel like if I read like one page, I would have been like, oh, this is not okay.
I would have been so curious about that book. I can't believe you didn't even open it.
Didn't even open it. I was like, and here's a book I'll never read.
Because you don't like to read and you lied to him. And it saved you in a way.
Yeah, I guess.
But also harmed you in a way. So I guess
it's
you're
like
neutral.
a net. We're even.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's my pizza secret.
Good. What a fun pizza secret.
It's just like, oh my God.
All right.
All right. What's your pizza secret?
God. Well, mine is a little bit lighter than that.
Yeah, I'm glad we're ending on a lighter note.
Yeah. Mine also involves a man, but he's not being creepy.
Okay.
He's right. I think he's kind of right in this situation. He was kind of mean.
So it's rare.
He kind of shamed me a little bit.
I don't like him.
But also he might have been a little bit right.
Well,
but it was unnecessary. All right, I'll just tell the story. So mine is called Still It's Not a Good Look. So when I...
Sorry. Now I'm so interested.
When I lived in Brookline, which is like a little suburb outside of Boston, but still kind of Boston. What do they call that? We don't have time.
We don't have time. You lived in Boston.
But I
go.
nannied for these 3 kids all throughout the summer, and I would take them to the pool a lot when I was there. And they lived close enough where I think I could walk there. No, I would walk to the T anyways. I had to walk like a few blocks every day to get to the T. So I just spent a long day of babysitting for these 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my bathing suit on because we'd been at the pool. And then I just had like a dress slip cover thing on that I just threw on to walk home. And then I think I also had like a backpack on. I had been walking for a while. I don't know how I didn't feel this. I'm so hypersensitive. But anyways, apparently my dress had like ridden up my back, and like, you know, when you're wearing a backpack and a dress and it gets like scrunched
that's like
up.
one of my worst fears.
Yeah. And like, luckily I was wearing a bathing suit,
right.
But like still, it's not a good
not
look.
a good look.
And so I was totally unaware of myself.
Where are the ladies who are like, Miss?
Well, so this man, I guess he was doing me a kindness because this kind of hot guy bikes up behind me as I'm walking down the sidewalk, and he kind of stops, slows down next to me, and I was like, ooh, a hot guy. He's gonna like
I didn't know
flirt
if you
with
meant
me.
like temperature wise, like he's just really sweaty.
Yeah,
okay.
a really sweaty man. No, an attractive man.
Okay.
And I was like, ooh, what's this? What's gonna happen? Thinking it's gonna be some kind of like meet cute.
Oh no.
And he was like, Miss, I just wanted to let you know that your dress, I think he had an English accent, so it was like even meaner.
Oh no.
He's like, I think your dress is ridden up and your underwear is showing. And I was like, oh, it's not my underwear. It's a bathing suit, like as if that would make it better.
Yeah, it's not even better.
So I said, I just wanted to explain to him, like, oh, at least it's my bathing suit. And he goes, still, it's not a good look. And then he rode away. And meanwhile, I thought he was going to like hit on me. And he was just like, hey, you got a weird dress wedgie. And I could see your full butt. It was so embarrassing. Like, luckily it was just the 2 of us. So up until this moment that I've shared on this podcast, no one knew about it except me and him.
Oh no.
But it was so, I was just like.
I hate that feel. I've been in situations like that too, where you're like, oh, what's happening? And
Yeah.
then they're like,
it's the total opposite.
you have something in your teeth. You're
Yeah.
like,
you've got a booger right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why is your face like that?
Yeah. So I guess he was doing me a favor by I'm glad he told me, but you didn't need to follow it up with the still it's not a good look. I know. I'm not going to keep walking around this way.
Oh.
But that part was just like the little jab of the knife
Yeah.
in there.
Just like twisted a little bit more.
Yeah, where I'm like, oh, well, yeah, it's just my bathing suit. Still.
If that was a woman, they would have been like, oh, that's okay. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. And then
Yeah.
he was so mean.
So mean.
Just letting me
Fuck
know
you.
look gross.
Hot, sweaty guy on a bike.
Yeah, fuck you. Right away
Fuck
from me.
you.
I didn't
Could
want
be
you to
nicer about it.
I didn't want you to hit on me anyways.
Yeah.
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
That's a sad one. I guess I don't know if that's a shitty little thing I did. I think it's a shitty little thing the man did.
Yeah, it's a
But-
pizza secret for him.
Yes.
Be nicer. Also, ladies, if we see this happening, we got to tell each other these things.
Please. And do it kindly. You don't need to be mean.
Take them aside. If it's a man with his fly down, I'll just be like, your fly is
Oh,
down.
yeah. Yeah.
And maybe that's mean of me, but
I'm always
I
the
feel
person.
like I'm right.
I feel like I am always the person who lets someone else know they have something in their teeth, they've got something on their face, like their hair is all, like crazy up in the air or whatever.
Right.
Like I feel like I'm always the person to let people know that.
I
hate when people don't do it to me, and then I get home, I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh great, for 5 hours I've had this piece of corn in my teeth. I didn't know what
just
tell
did
me.
this too. I felt really bad. She ate a powdered donut, and she had like powdered donut here.
Oh no.
And she was like trying to tell me something, and I was like waiting for her to finish. And I was like, I can't even listen to what she's saying right now. And my coworker comes in, he's like, oh, you got powdered donut right here. And I was like, I was just about to say
and now
something.
you look like an asshole.
Yeah. She goes, thanks for telling me, Chris. And I was like, I was just waiting. I wanted to be polite, but
you got to do it right away.
Lesson learned. Do it right away. Tell me right away.
Yeah, immediately. All right.
Yep.
And that was our show.
All right. If you like this podcast and want more, you're gonna have to wait for 2 more weeks. But in the meantime, you can listen to all of our other episodes. You can reach out to us on Instagram at weirdasafeather. You can email us at weirdasafeather@gmail.com. You can buy us a coffee at
ko-fi.com/weirds-of-a-feather.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
We have a Facebook group, and that's it.
That's it, I think.
That's it, I think.
It's just that.
It's just that. So you can also review and subscribe and do all the things.
Yep.
We love you so much.
Yes. We love you so much. We love and appreciate
And
you.
we'll miss you for these 2 weeks.
Yes.
But it's for the best for all of us.
And for those of you who are just discovering this podcast, like maybe months down the road, and this gap doesn't affect you at all, nothing happened here. Don't worry about it.
Just don't worry about it.
Just
Keep
go
going.
on to the next episode. It's right there waiting for you.
Chugging.
Yeah. Your episode 50 is out for you right now.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice that you waited and now you have like a surplus of
there
episodes? For the rest of you, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We love you. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. It's like a happy morning dove.
A joyful dove. What's the opposite of morning? Let's take a few minutes to think about this. I'll just call it a joyful dove. How's that?
He's like chuckling to himself.
It's like a Looney Tunes.